like it means nothing.
Well, before we start, I have a confession to make. I'm on a terminal stage of disobey. Sorry, dad jokes. Thanks. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about Infostealers, not much technical stuff, just an overview, and let's see how it goes. So, a bit about me. Name is Shamil, and I'm involved with CitySex in Finland, and I'm volunteering for Disobey for many years, and in fact, I have a shift right now on the backstage, so I was a bit nice to myself since I'm a speaker and a volunteer. I do threat intelligence professionally, and whatever it means, as well as I have amazing twins. They're keeping me very busy. That picture is from Balkan. Yes, the Balkan people. If you have a chance to go to Serbia, to Balkan this year, please do. It's an amazing community and an excellent conference. So, some statistics about my talk. I have 69 slides. I'm big on taking screenshots. I love it, so 32. I had lots of self-doubt, and I have no idea about the real contribution of this talk to you. So, what are the Infostealers? As the name suggests, of course, it's some kind of malware that, well, steals information from the infected machines or victims, and they have been all over the news all the time, and every week you get some kind of stuff. And whenever there's a big breach or ransomware attack, I always first think like, was it the initial access via the Infostealers or not? So, what do this malware steal? Basically everything from the victim's system and user information, whatever software is running or processor running, browser data like session cookies, download history, as well as browsing history, credentials saved in the browsers, credit cards, all kind of applications, be it a gaming or like VPN configs and mailing configs, wallets. It takes screenshots, as well as some malware allowed to exfiltrate interesting data or files from the infected machines. And here on the screenshot, you can see the directory structure of a particular one victim. What kind of folders directly there, what kind of files. And this is how, for example, look the system information file. Usually they have some kind of name of the stealer as well as the contact, so people can contact and buy their software or this data. And as you can see, it pulls a lot of interesting information from the victim device, like hardware ID, IP address, geolocation, as well as the hardware details, like username and what kind of screen resolution or what kind of keyboard layout are on the victim machines. This is just self-explanatory. Just grabs the passwords that are saved on the browsers, and usually they will distinguish from which browser it was stolen. In this case, we have the Google as well as the Edge, or Chrome and Edge. And speaking about the interesting files found on the victim machines, this screenshot I took long ago. It was some victim that had the Qbot and Mirai configs on their machines. And when they bundle together all this data, colloquially it's called Infostealer log or malware log, and it refers to particular, just a victim. Now distribution, there's probably no much surprise. The usual ways of the phishing emails or social on the phishing links on the social networks, as well as cracked, pirated software. Malvertising is quite big, and fake updates. And in this screenshot of a screenshot, because this Infostealers take the screenshot, and this one I took, I found on one victim, and you can see the possible link from where they got this infection. And someone was downloading Pet Simulator X script, so probably it came with some kind of surprise. Few examples about the distributions that were on the media, blipping computer. Always reading that. First one is OnlyFun. It was a kind of a software that you can install and then put the credentials for OnlyFan accounts, and that software will go and check if the account is alive and how much amount of money is there. But it came with surprise in form of a Luma Infostealer. Same goes with the similar type of stuff as comments on the issues in GitHub, where some threat actors were just trying to be helpful to people's issues, but it also came with the Infostealers. Fake captures are everywhere nowadays, and the newest, what was interesting is the fake homebrew site, so I was targeting the macOS users. I will talk about what kind of malware types, or operations modes, rather. Malware as a service is very popular. There are private stealers as well as open source stealers. I'll talk mostly about malware as a service, and I will skip private stealers because, well, they're private. This malware as a service is advertised mostly on the forums, Telegram channels, and they have, of course, different kind of pricing models. The operators or the developers of the malware provide some kind of support, as well as they put some updates on the functionality, or maybe there's some updates on the UI of the panels in the malware. And sometimes the Infostealers go away, or the developers decide to close their shop. This is all the screenshots that I've taken are from me, except this one. This was from the Kela threat intel company. I don't remember from where they are. But what I find interesting is this is the first posting of the Luma Stealer on the XSS forum, and their initial username was Shamil, which is very close to my name, and it is not me. So. Well, pretty soon they changed their username to Luma. Well, Luma is written in C. It targets Windows. They have a bug bounty program where you can return, not you, but whoever buys the license to operate this malware, if they find some bugs in whatever, they can get back money, or they will be added some additional time to their subscription. Luma has a really active support on Telegram and the forum, private messages, as well as lots of updates. It can include different kind of features or bug fixes, or adding new widgets, as well as updating their user base with the newest bypassing of the security measures. I believe from the start of December 2022, they had probably around maybe 200 updates, and it's quite amazing to see such a good support for a commercial product. Subscriptions are between $250 to $1,000, and Infostealer, this Luma has in-panel marketplace. For example, let's say a person buys a subscription and infects multiple victims, chooses what kind of credentials or whatever to use, and if they don't need this particular victim, they can put it to the panel or to the panel marketplace for someone else to buy. Yeah, this is just an old screenshot from 18th of September last year. What I liked, there was this update in the Google Chrome where they updated how they encrypt their cookies. It created a bit of problems for the Infostealers because they're relying to that, and pretty soon Luma, followed by other Infostealers, they solved the issue bypassing the encryption. I think I'm speed running this talk. Should calm down a bit. Now, some departures from the malware as a service scene, so to say. I'm sorry I didn't translate anything from Russian to English. I already have lots of text on my slides, so not to bother you, but this one was when the Rise Pro decided that they're done with their operations and they're closing their shop. But yeah. The next example is from Poseidon Stealer. This stealer was targeting the macOS users. Alternatively, I believe it was called something like Rodrigo Stealer due to the username of the person, Rodrigo4. And in this case, they are telling that they decided to close this, their operations that were bringing $30,000 per month. And they got some information that there's some danger to them, and they would like to stop this dark crime and go into their legit business. So probably they had some kind of OPSEC mistakes and decided that enough is enough. And they were selling the source code and everything for $100,000. And another one, the last one, I promise, this is my favorite. I just really, really feel the pain as well as the bit of empathy to this threat actor. So they had this idea about the kind of novel type of malware as a service that would be free, but whatever you get profit from the victims, you could share with the person, and it didn't work. And in this case, they are saying that they really burn out, they cannot continue, they really hate this project, they just want to destroy it, but in the same time, they have done some jobs, so they want to sell it. And yeah, who hasn't been burned out here or feeling like they want to just burn everything, all the projects and whatnot. Let's talk slightly about the open source stealers. There are tons of on the GitHub. If you just search for the stealer, clipper, or keylogger, you will get a lot. Also, they're mostly written in Python, it seems. This example is called CStealer. It's, of course, for only educational purposes, as the disclaimer says. And if you follow the Telegram link and go to their channel, you discover that it is not really for educational purposes. They're selling premium access lifetime. Yeah. And of course, since it's on GitHub, somebody put made the issues that yeah, the antivirus picks this up. Yeah, and maybe let's talk about how people monetize the stolen information. So we'll briefly talk about the initial access brokers, some kind of marketplaces that are centralized, that gather all the victims under one hood and then just sell it. Cloud of logs, as well as all this stuff creates auxiliary services. Now, here we have a person who has deposited 1 Bitcoin to the forum. This screenshot is from XSS forum, and if you're a serious commercial operator on that forum, you're encouraged to deposit some money into your forum wallet to show that you're a serious person. And you can see that this person has put the 1 Bitcoin, which is quite a lot. And they're looking for all kind of credentials or Infostealer logs that contain some kind of remote access to the victims. It can be Citrix and a VPN and whatnot. And they're paying from $100 to $5,000 per victim if the victim proven to be very worthwhile. And what they would do, for example, this person, let's say, initial access brokers, they will buy this Infostealer logs, then they will try if they can access the network of the victim, then probably they will try some kind of reconnaissance of the corporate network, maybe add some persistence, and maybe dump some internal passwords and the credentials. And when it's proven that the company has a good revenues, and they can resell this access to the people who are buying. And it's quite a high demand for this kind of services. And it's if you go to forums, for example, XSS, you would see in the commercial sections there's a lot of constant sales of the access to the different corporate networks. And this is another person also with 1 Bitcoin as a deposit. It's in Russian, but it basically says that they are searching for all kind of providers of access, and it can be VPN of all kind of, and can be Citrix, RDPs, and shells. And they specifically interested in US as well as in Europe or Australia, basically the more rich parts of the world where the corporates maybe can pay up if they got ransomware. Right, the Infostealer marketplaces, they used to be more. For example, Genesis Market was very popular, but they got closed. Partially, infrastructure was taken by the law enforcement. They kind of tried to continue, but I guess their reputation was too damaged. They closed the shop. There was too easy shop. I didn't like them, but yeah, it never worked properly. Russian market is big, and we have some newcomers like Exodus Market, as well as Luma Market, which operates on Telegram. So I will probably talk more about the Russian market, because it's the biggest centralized marketplace. Registration is kind of free, but to see any data there, one needs to deposit $50 to the in-market wallet. And they're also selling the credit card numbers. They have a referral program, so if someone brings their friend to join the marketplace and that person purchases items from that marketplace, the referee will get the share of that money. I don't remember how much was the percentage. Price per log or per victim, let's say, is between 50 cents and $10. Currently, they have over 12 million of victims listed. It's quite big. And the top countries are India, Brazil, Pakistan, Indonesia, and Egypt. And if we speak about the Nordic countries, I believe Sweden was in top, followed by, was it Denmark, then Norway, and Finland was, I think, fourth. And the least amount of infections were, I think, was it Iceland or Faroe Islands. This is how it looks. I hope it looks good. I took this screenshot, or should I tell that a friend of mine took this screenshot and sent to me on Thursday. And here you can see, I just put Finland to make some connection. We have 6,900 infections currently, and the most fresh being from 11th of February. But yesterday in Turkosek we were running this command learn about cybercrime places, and I think the most fresh was from 13th of February. This marketplace, of course, allows you quite nice customization of what you are searching. You can search by the specific stealers. For example, you're interested in buying victims' data that were infected by Luma Stealer or Vidar or whichever. So it gives you this customization. It also allows you to put from which country you want or which specific operating system. And I believe if one deposits, was it like $500, you can preset which kind of access you are interested in. So it's quite a big one. And I have some meaningless numbers for you. I hope you are not going to check it. So, but basically, you can see that in mid-September, I took some numbers of how many Stealers victims on the marketplace, and the Luma was just 3.5. And in February, a few days ago, I took new numbers, and it's 7 million. So it just skyrockets. Now, let's talk about Telegram. It's amazing. So there are a lot of Telegram channels that, for example, would sell the victim data. And they will share some sample data because sharing is caring, as well as you give some samples, so you check out if the data is good, then you can subscribe to their services and get more private infections. There's also this thing called log aggregators. So they're just grabbing the bunch of malware logs from other services and they publish it. There are a lot. Probably not. I really don't know how many would be this kind of free log stuff on the Telegram, but there are tons. And of course, this all creates the auxiliary services such as sorters and parsers of the victim data. They can be specific cookie checkers. For example, let's say we have some kind of software that you can import this data from the victim, and that software will go and check if the session cookie is alive or not, and then will report to which services the session cookies are still available. There's always technical support that, for example, somebody would tell that, okay, they will help with the working with the Infostealer logs, or they can help you with the setting up all the technical infrastructure to do the needful. Lookup services is big. There's always tons of offers on the forums or Telegram channels that would just tell that pay us a bit and we will look up your stuff. So if you are interested in getting credentials or victim data from, let's say, everyone who is logging into governmental organizations, so they will just check it and then send you back. Now there are some kind of legitimate use cases for this data. Bug bounties are one. It was quite big, I heard, at some point at least. So what the bug hunters would do, they would download these malware logs, they would check the credentials to whoever was on the bug bounty platform, and then just submit them credentials. We have found your credentials, just pay us money, bounty please. Account takeover prevention, of course, is big. It's good to monitor what's being published, so you can see what's the exposure of your organization or company or your rival. So, threat actor tracking or de-anonymization, because lots of threat actors are logging in, for example, to different kind of cybercrime-related resources, as well as self-infections happen sometimes. And also interesting stuff, research at least, related to the child sexual abuse materials. I will talk about it, and there's some research possibilities. So this was a report done by Recorded Future. I found it very interesting. Basically, they looked at all kind of malware infections, or the malware logs, rather, from February 2021 to 2024, and they discovered that there are over 3,000 unique credentials to various child sexual abuse material sites. And the top countries were Brazil, India, US. Now, if you would like to kind of do a research on the data, so obviously just download Infostealer logs, or maybe have some kind of vendor that already has a good collection. You can do research on it. And if you're more academically inclined, there's a really good paper by Juha Nurmi, Mikko Niemelä, and Billy Bob Brumley on the malware finances and operations. But what is cool about this, except being really nicely written academic paper, but they also published the victim information set as well as the scraping of the Genesis market. Of course, they sanitized the victims' stuff, but it's still a good data to crunch numbers. So here we are coming to the worst part of my presentation on my poor attempts on some kind of data analysis. And this was done in a big hurry because I don't have much time to do work, twins, wife, and then you get half an hour, 1 hour or more per night to do something more interesting. Me being kind of stupidly ambitious, I always think that I can download full Infostealer logs and work on them, but it's too much data. So instead, I decided I will just opt for the log summaries. So So what are the log summaries? So let's say a victim are infected and this malware has exfiltrated the credentials. So what people are doing, just taking the credentials and they're just putting the URL where was the login, login itself and password, like combo list, like when you have a really nice juicy data breach with all kind of fields like IP address and political views and whatnot, and they just opt for exfiltrating email address and password. It's boring, but it's interesting data set. And here we have a North Korean website user as an example. That's how it looks like. So what did I do? I've chosen 4 Telegram channels that publish this kind of ULP data sets and decided to download. Observer Cloud is probably most active currently. Biggest, I managed to download 3.5 terabytes from there, and just overall 4 terabytes. And when you download this kind of information, you always have some problems. Because, for example, Telegram introduced download speed limits. So if you're a free user, you cannot download it faster or it will break and give you some kind of a slower rate of download. The solution would be just paying to Pavel Durov 20-something or 30-something euros for a year subscription to Telegram Premium, which removes the speed limits. Next is VPS is running out of space. Obvious solution would be just invest more and buy with the better specs, but my solution was just processing data in smaller batches and cleaning, deduplicating, and doing it all over again. Well, sometimes you just forget to copy the archive passwords and the Telegram channels are gone. I was lucky enough to find the passwords with trial error, and force problems, there's no solution. So sometimes you just delete the wrong directory and start over, cry and start over. Okay, let's say I have this kind of data. What can I do, given I have not enough time, and this talk was a bit of a surprise to me. So as you might know, that there was a different person supposed to be, but here we are. Right, I just took some meaningless data. So I had 4 terabytes, right, overall downloaded. But after cleaning everything, deduplicating and whatever, I got only 178 gigabytes. So there was so much trash. Because they're just different kind of Telegram channels, and they're just copy-pasting from each other. So it's pretty much the same data, just circulates. Number of lines, 2.6 billion. Number of emails, 1.2. And when I just counted the unique emails, I got 195 million. Probably no surprise, the most used email providers, or the domains were Gmail, Hotmail, whatnot, and interestingly, ProtonMail had 521 findings. So, what is the most isolated nation? Probably North Korea, right? I was interested, like, how many there are findings or credentials from North Korean sites? And only 14 compromised accounts. not much. And yeah, there's Air Koryo, I guess it's airlines, and the Friendcom KP, I guess they're Facebook. Others I have no idea. And this is, of course, because they're using the Red Star OS. So. Next, I decided to look at internet registers, because if you remember, there was there was a news that someone grabbed the credentials of the, was it like Orange Spain ISP, and then there was a bit of problems with the networks. So I decided just to search for the emails or the credentials data from that would be from the internet registers, and I found only 8 unique emails. 3 of them being from RIPE, 2 from ICANN, LACNIC, UPNIC. And yeah, when I looked through the data, I found this one particular person which had interesting stuff being compromised. I've checked, and that person is ex-employee of the ICANN, but from the URLs to which the credentials were leaked, you can see there's quite sensitive stuff, like Okta and yeah, VPN. Maybe we dodged some danger, but yeah. So I was thinking, like, what else I can just look up? Maybe the users of bug bounty platforms. So no surprise there. HackerOne is probably the most, not favorite, but the most popular one. And I found that there were 8 email addresses were registered in all of them. So super hustlers. Maybe they were super good or bad. We will never know. And I remember seeing this interesting news that 100K of the hacker credentials were exposed from this kind of Infostealer malware. And I decided, yeah, maybe I can gather a number of different kind of cybercrime forums and marketplaces, run it, and see what I get. I discovered that there were 81.5 thousand of the unique emails. So I didn't opt for like credentials or usernames, so just decided to count the emails. It was easier, you know. And the most popular being the Nulleto, Cracked, Hack Forums, Cracking.org, and so on. Next, I decided to look, what's the common between bug bounty platforms and this kind of cybercrime forums or marketplaces, and I discovered that 560 email addresses were in the both data sets. And well, HackerOne's being most popular, and yeah, sadly we don't know if this 560 email address holders, if they learned something good in the hacking forums and they decided to go to the legit way, or maybe they were very, very frustrated with the duplicate submissions on the bug bounty platforms, as well as the horrible triage processes. They decide, like, maybe crime pays more than the legit. We will never know. Nevertheless, it's interesting. This is, you know, this all kind of malwares. They have their C2 panels where the threat actors can log in. And I decided that I would just look at the C2 panel logins for Infostealer. So I gathered just, I think, 19 of the potential domain names used by the Infostealer, and I discovered 2. So I guess it's PEMXSX and Test881 are the operators of the malware, or, well, those who bought the license. And this is quite interesting because we can use it in a way that kind of turning tables over them and trying to track them. Now, future ideas. Maybe not start your own lookup service. Might be a bit problematic, slightly. I was thinking maybe I can just export this data set, which is just TXT file, huge one, into some kind of database or search engine to to crunch numbers a bit more efficiently or search for something more efficiently. I was thinking, like, for example, I can maybe compare password strengths between the different kind of types of entities, government versus commercial sector and whatnot. And of course, learning some kind of proper research methodology would be very beneficial. And drinking more water as well as asking for help is always a good idea.
Just so you got 16.